Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation on the Neo Smart Living Tahoe Mini. So a little bit about Neo Smart Living. They're a company founded by Tony Koo uh, in Chino, California. So our project specifically focuses on the Tahoe Mini, which is a 117-foot square backyard unit priced around 23K. This project is designed to be versatile with common uses including a home office, guest space, or even a rental unit. This is specifically relevant because of given trends such as remote work and rising housing costs. However, the company faces several marketing challenges. Number one being there is limited awareness of the actual product. The ideal target market is not clearly identified, and the consumers may perceive the price as high for just a backyard unit. To address this, our research focuses on identifying the most promising customer segments, understanding price sensitivity, and determining the most popular uses. Based on these insights, we aim to provide clear and actionable market recommendations. And next off, we have the research design and methods. First, in terms of our research questions, we focused on understanding consumers' purchase interest in the Tahoe Mini itself at the 23K price point, identifying preferred use cases like a home office or rental unit, and really understanding key barriers such as the cost, permitting, and financing. We also wanted to explore the differences among demographics and lifestyle segments. Next, for our survey design, we created a structured online questionnaire using multiple choice questions and 5-point rating scale questions. The survey measured variables like purchase interest, price sensitivity, and the overall intended use, perceived barriers, and included screening questions to even make sure that they're qualified, such as if they are a homeowner. For our sampling and data collection, we used a convenience sampling approach. We collected responses both online through Google Forms and in person in various locations such as stores, workplaces, and through personal networks such as family and friends. Finally, in terms of data sources, our study includes three: the student collected survey, which provides local insights; the AYTM panel, which offers a larger and more representative national sample; as well as we did go over the AI simulation, which was used to support and validate our research findings.
Hello, my name is Alfred Navarro. On this slide, we're going to be highlighting the key findings from our analysis. First, you can see in the chart on the right that while awareness of backyard units is very high, there's a sharp drop off when we move to actual purchase interest, especially at the $23,000 price point. This tells us the issue isn't awareness, it's conversion. That leads into our biggest insight, which is the pricing. The data shows the optimal price range is closer to $17,000 to $19,000, meaning the current price is likely too high for most consumers. Not surprisingly, cost is the number one barrier by a wide margin. Financial concerns like affordability and financial matter much more than logistical issues like HOA restrictions or available space. Because of this, purchase likelihood remains low overall, and most consumers are simply not ready to buy in the short term. In terms of positioning, the strongest concepts are the wellness studio and home office, which suggests that consumers are most interested in personal use and lifestyle benefits. So overall, the big key takeaway is that demand exists, but unlocking it depends on addressing price and perceived value.
In part one of the two-source comparison, we will be going over the two data sources and their key differences. So the two data sources include one being the student Google Forms survey, which was a student-led survey by our class with a sample size of 256 participants. The second data source was the AYTM survey, which was an AI-powered market research survey and had a sample size of 600 participants. As you can see, the key difference does include sample size, with the AYTM survey being 600 respondents, while the student one had 256 respondents. That having a difference of 344 participants within the survey. Another key difference would be the variables, where AYTM has 73 columns, student survey has 47 columns, with a difference of 26 columns. The depth of analysis of the surveys is also a key difference, where AYTM is a full coverage survey. The student-led is more simplified and is more of a subset. And the analysis as well. For the analysis, the AYTM is higher and more complex with the full data set, while the student analysis is more moderate, easy to understand, and very simplified. And that would be all for part one. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Diego, and I'll be presenting the two-source comparison part two. So basically, looking at our two data sources side by side, we see both strong agreement and meaningful differences between each other. So first, both the AYTM panel and the student survey clearly identify cost as the number one barrier to the purchasing the Tahoe Mini, even though the exact reason why differs between each other. The ranking is consistent across both groups, and this increases our confidence that the pricing is a real market issue and it's not just a result of sampling bias. And at the same time, we can see important differences in how consumers plan to use the product. The AYTM panel leans towards practical uses like storage, while the student survey shows stronger interest in lifestyle uses like a wellness studio. This divergence reflects differences in sample and not error. Overall, consistent findings help us make reliable choices, while differences reveal distinct customer segments that require targeted marketing strategies.
Hello, my name is Andrea, and I'm going to be doing the two-source comparison part 3. This comparison shows that both data sources play different but complementary roles in market research. The AYTM panel is more reliable for decision making because it reflects kind of a broader and more realistic market. For example, it shows stronger cost sensitivity, which tells us that pricing is a real barrier and not just a perception. On the other hand, the student survey is valuable for identifying trends and new positioning ideas. It highlighted interest in lifestyle uses like wellness, which may not show up as strongly in a traditional panel. So the key takeaway is that a student collected data is useful for exploration and idea generation, while professional panels are better for validating decisions. And I would say that in practice, companies should both use both of them together because one helps you understand what could happen or what could work, and the other confirms what will actually work in the market.
So based on our findings from our student survey, we would suggest positioning the lifestyle usage for NeoSmart Living. This would be wellness, a studio, or even just a personal retreat. The segment would be Southern California residents of the younger age, and these would be those with a high wellness intended use. The suggested channel would be Instagram or YouTube or TikTok advertisements that have lots of visuals and retargeting that have the ability to support longer purchase process that the respondents are currently in. The respondents were also very cost sensitive, and because of this, we would suggest to introduce financing or monthly cost plans to help ease that big purchase barrier. And based on our AYTM survey, we found that another suggested positioning would be the general storage. This would be for those with practical space needs or home organization and overflow storage. The ideal customer segment for that would be practical homeowners, the older age demographic, and those focused on practicality and utility. The channels for this would be YouTube and Facebook, as those have longer content that's able to better explain recommended use and emphasize value. And retargeting can be used for this as well to help justify the cost and help ease the purchase barrier that cost plays a part as this survey as well. Some other recommendations, just generally for targeting, we would suggest to introduce financing and monthly costs for all segments because we saw that cost was the biggest barrier in purchase likelihood. And another recommendation would be to emphasize the value and consideration, and the ideal price point would be around the 17K mark.